Hi, welcome to Girl, Are You Okay?
This is a podcast about two 20-somethings living in Los Angeles, talking about anything and everything.
I'm Ayesha.
I'm Abeera. Socks?
I have cloud socks on today.
I have Orca socks that Ayesha actually gifted me for my birthday.
I love them.
Of course, if you're not watching, you can't see it, but I hope you can visualize.
Orcas, they're the best.
And clouds.
Well, welcome to our podcast. Today we have a juicy topic for you guys.
We do, but before we get into it,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask, how are you?
Okay, let me just give you a rundown. It's Ramadan right now, so I'm how many days into fasting?
Started Monday, right?
I started Monday.
So six,
almost a week. And yeah,
temperature check. How are we?
I'm kind of going through it.
Okay.
Like sometimes I get hangry, but the main thing is I get so thirsty. So we're going to see how today goes talking.
Yeah. This is going to be maybe a marathon for you a little bit.
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Maybe we take some breaks. If you see weird cuts, just know that's why.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Oh my goodness. Let me ask you though, because I think one thing I always think about for those fasting is like the fact that the past like X amount of years have been during the longer days with daylight savings. And I know we just celebrated daylight savings ending.
See,
ending, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, if you tuned into our first episode, we talked about how we were being tormented by daylight savings. And I am happy that the sun sets later now. I just think it's really unfortunate, the timing of it all, because daylight savings started the day before Ramadan started. And honestly, I've got a problem with that.
Yeah. No, and I always like to think like, okay, well, next year you'll have some of it be...
Because actually, and in case you don't know, Ramadan
this is good to talk about.
Moves up 10 days every year. So for example, like when I was born, it was Ramadan, which was in January, and now it's April. What month is it?
We're in March. We're still fully in March.
It's March.
Yeah. So I mean, within the next couple of years, I think it will be an easier fast with the days being a little shorter.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But the timing this time was kind of mean.
It was really mean.
Yeah.
There's something else I could say, but I'll say it off camera to you.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
How about you? What's been going on?
Because I am not fasting, I'm fully reaping the benefits of daylight savings ending. I don't know. It's so nice being able to, on my like later days.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I end at like 7, or like by the time I'm like leaving the office, it's like 7:30 or like whatever. And it's like still like there's a glimmer of sunlight still in the air.
There's nothing worse than like getting off of work and it's so dark and you're like, I don't have my days over. Like my work day's over and now there's nothing I can actually do.
Totally.
So it's this great benefit. So even though I'm fasting and it definitely sucks to have the sunset later, I am happy like emotionally to see more sunlight for longer in the day.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Again, like you said, it just gives me a little bit more of like a push to do something after the day is technically over with work and stuff. But I miss this time signifying like summer break approaching. Mm-hmm. I feel like we as adults don't have that to look forward to anymore.
That is so relatable, just kind of built in time off, and so sometimes I feel a little jealous of like people who are teachers or kind of whose jobs revolve around a school schedule. Like when the kids are on spring break or on whatever break it is, the teachers kind of get a break too. Mm-hmm. But that being said, so much compassion for our teachers out there. You're doing God's work.
And if you're in grad school practicing to become a therapist, I would recommend getting a practicum site that does recognize those holidays because it's quite nice. As someone who had that.
Oh, really?
We took like spring break off when like Pepperdine took spring break off.
Yeah, we only had, I think, the winter holiday break for Christmas, which makes sense. I think most everybody kind of does that. to some degree.
We can like get into a bigger conversation about why other holidays are not recognized, but
we can.
Like you should fully not have to do your entire caseload during Ramadan.
I think fasting therapists should be paid double.
I don't disagree. I mean, how's your brain functioning?
Okay, if you care, if
I do,
I can tell you. Okay, based on every year when Ramadan comes back around, I always I can't remember how it was the previous year for some reason.
You've like disassociated it from
exactly.
your
So every year I go into it going like, oh no, like how am I going to get through this? Because I can't recall how I've done it these last few years. And so far, I lose my train of thought a lot, like more often.
Well, sure, that makes sense.
Happens, which normally happens. I have something I want to say and then I lose it. So that's happening.
Do you let your clients know that you're fasting? Or
I usually do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've mentioned it yet this year for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah.
Do you usually bring it up like if you're feeling like you're having a brain fart moment, or is it just something that gets worked in otherwise? Like,
yeah. So typically what I do is like when Ramadan is either like coming up or it started, I don't know why I haven't done it this year yet, but I usually say, hey, I'm going to be fasting this month, like in observance of Ramadan. If they have any questions of what that is.
Yeah.
And then I say that might affect the way I show up within this space. And I just want them to know it's me, not you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good self-disclosure, I think. I respect that a lot.
And, in my experience, like they're so understanding, and then a little bit caretakey sometimes, which I don't need. I'm completely fine. I've been doing this for so long at this point. But yeah, just the brain farts kind of, I get distracted more easily. And
do you zone out sometimes? I mean, I think we're human. We're gonna zone out sometimes because we're human. Like we have our own things going on.
So what happens is like I zone out in the way that my mind wanders, but I'm still listening to them.
Right.
So
it's
I'm able
passive,
to tap
though.
back in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely like irritating, and my brain power like runs out so much like more quickly.
The battery.
Because I see clients into the evening and I feel sometimes like, oh my gosh, the people who see me later in the day are kind of getting me kind of at my most run down. Like
that's so true. I wonder if like,
even generally, like fasting aside,
I wonder if I mean, I can speak on that, but like, I wonder with this, like, is it something within the self-disclosure that you mentioned of like, hey, if you want to change your time to like a more earlier time?
Right. Because sometimes like, the time I can break fast, at least right now, is right before some of my last clients. So I'll have like 1 minute to like chug some water, take a few bites out of some string cheese.
That is not okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to advocate for you for a second. Like when the fast is done, like we need to figure out a way where you're not seeing a client at that time.
Okay. Cause starting next week, it's called iftar time. So the breaking of the fast is iftar. And that time will be during my 7 o'clock sessions. And so in those cases, I do disclose, hey, the time is going to be during our session. I may take a few bites if you don't mind. I'll be drinking some water. Do I usually end up eating? No, because I'm so weird. Even like, it's so weird for me to eat on camera.
Well, that makes sense. Cause then it's like, what if you're chewing and you have something to say or like that? Yeah. But I think then that's something they have to decide. Like, am I okay with my therapist eating and maybe not being able to respond, or am I okay changing my time?
And here's the thing. I'm probably not going to eat. I'm just going to drink my water.
Okay, but I don't love that for you. Maybe this is a conversation that we talk about later, but I'm sure our listeners would also be advocating for you.
Thank you all so much. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it's been going lately for that.
Fair. Wow. I can't believe we've never talked about this before, but I'm like feeling like there's so much that goes into this that like I haven't considered. And like, I know that those like 6 and 7 p.m. time slots get so filled up because that's so like
popular
because people get off work or like kids get off school and like that's like prime time. But like you also have to take care of yourself. And I hate to use the cliche of put your oxygen mask on first before helping other people.
Yeah.
But like,
no, totally.
So true. Anyway.
Well, I'll let you know if I implement that.
Please do. Update us. All of us. Ugh.
Well, do we move on to our topic?
I guess. I mean,
Enough about me.
I mean, I like hearing it. So selfishly, I was like,
Thank you so much.
I don't think we intended to go on and on about it, but I was like, oh my God, but what about this? And what about this? And
yeah, if you have any like other questions, just, you know.
we tie it into our religion episode that maybe people will want.
Yeah. I have so much more I can share if you want to know.
We'll do a Q&A. Get the questions that the people want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can move on to our topic. Do you want to introduce it for us?
So our topic for today is secrets. Oh my God.
Wow.
I think this is going to be a spicy one, personally.
I want everyone to practice. I want everyone to close their eyes if they're not driving. And I want you to self-reflect on what the word secrets brings up for you. Does it bring on like a negative connotation? Does it bring on a positive one, an exciting one, a shameful one? What comes up? Guilty.
I noticed a sensation kind of in my chest, like I couldn't breathe in all the way for a moment.
Yeah.
There's something about secrets that, I don't know, just gets you going a little bit.
Oh.
Just because I think depending on the secret, there can be so much on the line.
Yeah.
For yourself, for somebody else.
When I hear secrets, like my mind automatically goes to maybe the more negative side because I think, well, secrets can be positive or negative, which I think we can get into. But like, why does my mind instantly go
primarily I think if we think about the kind of secrets that we hold, usually for ourselves and others, they're negative or there's something that you don't want others to know for a specific reason.
True. And I think we're going to maybe talk about the fact that we sometimes keep secrets because we're fearing judgment from others.
Mm-hmm. We're feeling, we don't want to be judged. We're trying to avoid shame or feeling that feeling of guilt, which probably really is already present if you're keeping that secret.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot that goes into this.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. So where do we want to begin with secrets? Because I know we had we jotted down some notes. So if you see us, like if you're watching this and you see us looking at our iPads, it's because we don't want to forget to talk about any piece of this.
We had a lot of thoughts, so we jotted them down.
Yeah. And we didn't even like talk through what we were going to talk about, but we were just like, oh, but like this
thing and this component.
Yeah.
And, oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is still authentic material, you guys. Don't stress.
Okay, so the first thing that kind of came to mind when it came to secrets, this is kind of casual, a little fun, is just guilty pleasures. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe it's the thing that, okay, like I'll tell you if you want to know, but like I'm kind of like hesitant about it.
Or it's like controversial, like watching the Kardashians.
That's my guilty pleasure. Except I'm like proud of it too. I'm like what you like.
Yeah. No, I think at the end of the day, we can like reframe it as that. Yeah. But there is still a little glimmer of something that where it's like, do I want to share this with them?
Exactly.
And you have to work around to the point where you're like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like if they like me, they'll accept this part of me. Like
exactly. So
I think that's a lot of people's guilty pleasures or like just reality TV in general.
Mm-hmm. There's something about it, I think, that is just so enticing, I guess. There's so much drama. And I think we're told that when it comes to reality TV that it's juvenile or
it's fake.
It's fake,
it's scripted,
trashy, all these like things. And it's so fun and entertaining.
It's so fun. And I think like something like the Kardashians too, like they're, I think the controversial part is like there are some potential problematic things that come up when we talk about them. So it's that thing of like, oh, like we don't want to be judged because because we don't want to make it seem like we support certain things or like,
yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does make sense because I think, the Kardashians are involved with their healthy share of like problematic,
which like
things.
Any celebrity is because they can get canceled for like literally anything. But I think with them specifically, for some reason, it just gets like put on blast and
right. Yeah. And I think especially like living in Los Angeles, they're just more top of mind because they're here.
I would like to say that Calabasas, California is not, well, now it is. what it is, but it used to be like Horsetown.
Oh yeah.
Like
if you watch the early episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you kind of get a peek into that.
Yeah.
Right? How do you feel about how Calabasas has transformed?
I mean, I have like varying thoughts about it. Like part of me is like, it's kind of fun because the fact that like I worked in Calabasas for like so many years and like would hang out like at the Calabasas Commons in
Valley
middle school.
Girl through and through.
Right. Like to me, it gives it some recognition that I was like, oh my God, like that's like where I grew up.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, it's like now it's kind of gross. And like the entire culture shifted. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just blabbering, but basically like there's good side, pros and cons. Pros and cons.
There's probably a lot of secrets in Calabasas.
Oh yeah, that's where we begun. Why did we go here? Sorry, I forgot what we were talking about.
I wonder what kind of secrets the Kardashians have.
Oh, Ken Gurley, come on our podcast, talk about your secrets with
Kylie.
Bad Bunny.
Give us the tea. We need to know.
How did you communicate?
And if we want to talk about how Kylie Jenner, I guess, attempted to keep her pregnancy a secret.
That's
for
a
9
secret.
months.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also second time around was very secretive, but I think people knew she was pregnant.
She was open about the fact that she was pregnant, but I think was more private about
versus
her
secret
process.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Wait, I just thought of something and I'm just curious about your perspective. Yeah. This might go nowhere.
Okay.
But like maybe it's interesting. There's this dynamic, I don't know if you've heard of it, in like the Desi, aka South Asian community, where like you don't share any information or pictures about people you're dating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think something that's going around is like a hashtag kind of thing that's like private before it's permanent or private until it's permanent.
Okay. So you kind of keep the relationship private until
you're married.
Until you know it's gonna last.
Well, until like your wedding, and then you like announce that like that this person's in your life.
Yes. Okay. There are like I think people I've seen where I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know they were in a relationship.
Right. Is that private or is that secret? Or is it
both?
Like is it both? Like, are these like I don't know if those two words are synonymous.
Because
or not.
Maybe it's private amongst you and like your closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's therefore kept a secret from like the rest of the community.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I just want to make it clear, like, I respect whatever your choice is and like going about your life.
There's so many reasons why someone would like choose to withhold.
Yeah. And I get it. And like so much of this is cultural and like, who are we to sit here and put our opinions in? But like, I'm just curious if you've heard of that. And like, did you know that there was like this hashtag about it?
Right. And this kind of goes into our next point, actually.
Okay, great.
Which is self-protective secrets. So maybe others not knowing about your relationship can protect you in some way from, feedback from your family or your friends or whoever.
Well, celebrities do this all the time because they don't want to hear anything from fans about like, oh, why are you dating this person?
Oh,
or
there's
like,
so much of that going around. Like if we want to talk about like Ariana Grande. Dating SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And can we just, now that, we've brought her up, can we talk about the resemblance between, I forget his name. Is it Ethan Slater? Something like that. Her SpongeBob boyfriend looks so much like her brother.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We should insert pictures.
I think that's just interesting.
No, it is. I mean, but then there's also, could we argue that there's that thing where people do kind of
are drawn to what they're familiar with.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's too close. I don't know. What are your guys' opinions on that? We'd love to hear.
Well, I've heard a story of Rob Kardashian hooking up with the winner.
Remember when Rob used to be so
he was
yummy.
A cutie patootie. And now he sells socks.
Does he actually?
Yes. Arthur George.
I've never heard of this before.
You're not a true fan.
Yeah, I'm not. I never claimed to be one. I just like to make that clear too.
Got it. That's
Wait,
very
are
true.
they cute?
I don't think so.
Oh,
sorry.
How much are they? Are they like obscene?
I don't know. But I would guess.
Wow.
Kris Jenner's involved with the marketing, then
Well,
it's
I'm
gonna
sure she has like 18 billion corporations under her belt.
Yeah. No, but speaking of people like dating or being with people that look similar to relatives, Rob Kardashian hooked up with the winner of the Kim Kardashian lookalike contest. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Whoa. That's uncomfy.
Like if I was
there's
Kim,
nothing wrong with it, like I guess technically, but
there's like nothing wrong. But then if I were Kim, I would have feelings about it.
Yeah.
Not only, and it's not even that, oh, you met this girl out and about and we're in LA and she happens to look like Kim K. No, she was the winner of the like Kim K was associated.
Contest. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow, I'm learning so much.
I'm like fully outing myself. Yeah, this is my guilty pleasure.
Well, what are some other, so like relationships where it's self-protection.
I think certain, at least for me, like going out to eat at a certain place is like a guilty pleasure because I'm like, this is maybe not the best for me, but I love it.
Yeah. Like maybe same with like sweet treats and things like that. Like what's your guilty pleasure? It's like, I love this. I mean, I'm trying to step away from that. Just.
Yeah, true.
Trying to neutralize all foods and also practice that balance. But I know that that's a big thing that was like, I think people used to say like, oh, chocolate's my guilty pleasure. And it's like, why are we feeling guilty about eating chocolate? Because that could
definitely spiral into a whole world of other things. Yeah. So thanks for pointing that out.
No, but I'm not trying to like call anybody out. Like, I think that's definitely a very common association with guilty pleasures that might be a little dated now.
Right.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
But what else? So the reality TV, food, like certain types of foods.
Is there any other like activities?
I'm trying to think. Because I don't know.
Because there could be like, I'm like watching TV, but that kind of goes with like reality television.
Why are guilty pleasures always like something that like, not me blanking right now. I always feel like it's like something that is like some like instead of just figuring out a way to like balance it in your life, they're just like written off almost.
Right. Like this is categorically you should feel guilty if you're doing this thing.
Yeah.
This
is a mental health problem all of a sudden, you guys.
I think, I'm also blanking on anymore. If you guys have any guilty pleasures, like comment them or like let us know and let's help like normalize them.
Right. If you're like indulging to a point where it's like not healthy, like even with reality TV, right? Like if it's starting to get into your daily functioning,
of course, like if it's impacting your quality of life in any way or inhibiting you from doing other things at that point, let's take a closer look at what's happening.
Yeah, not me just making this so boring by bringing in mental health. I'm so sorry.
No, we support mental health.
But yeah,
I think it's good that we point that out.
Okay. That's so boring. I was like, yeah, guilty pleasures, Kardashians. Okay, also, we hate guilty pleasures.
No, but I think I've never even like thought about that because I don't think I pay much attention to them. I've never talked about them before.
Let's not keep secrets with our guilty pleasures. I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to put forward. It's like own it and balance it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you need support, go get some.
Yes. But yeah, the next one is, so we were talking about self-protective secrets, protecting other people.
Yes. How many of you have had a friend tell you a secret that if it were to get out, it might be harmful to them?
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know about you. Have you always been a good secret keeper?
I like to think that I am, I think it depends on your relationship to me.
And this has always been the case.
Let me think. If that's the case right now, I do know a lot of secrets. I would immediately go tell my mom.
Oh, there's no secret that someone's told me that my mom does not know.
Like these mothers out there could like write a expose.
Oh my God, completely. my mom could be Gossip Girl.
I'm like, I think she'd be a really good Gossip Girl too. Like, that woman can blog.
Maybe. Shalina.
We love you.
But yeah, sorry. You do your reflection. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember, but I'll just say I think so. You know, I think.
Okay. I respect.
You know, because there's nothing worse than like telling something to your friend and then hearing that they told all these other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of like betrayal. And I would never want to do that to somebody,
Yeah.
you know, because I know how I would feel if someone did that to me.
The empath.
Totally.
It's the Cancer moon.
It's the Cancer moon.
My Aries moon, however, I am not good at keeping secrets. And I know that about myself. I've gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want to give myself too much credit. I think a lot of it has to do with my friend groups just being very separate from each other now.
Yeah.
But when I would have like in high school, when everyone knew each other, it was very dangerous.
Right. Because it's all the same pool of people.
Yeah. But now that like if I tell you a secret about somebody else,
at that point, it's gossip.
Right. And at that point, it's never going to get around to anybody, or you might not even know who I'm talking about.
And I think that's where I'm willing to maybe blur the line a little bit, is if I'm like, okay, you have absolutely no association with this person, and I don't even need to tell you who it is, but just listen to this story, you know?
Yeah. But I think I've been, maybe it's just being now a therapist, like I've gotten a little bit better about reflecting on how this would hurt somebody if I were to share it with somebody else.
If you think about it, being a therapist, our job in a way
is keeping secrets.
Is keeping secrets.
Thank God for supervision, because I need to tell somebody some things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And if we, you know, when you're a therapist in training, we get weekly supervision with a supervisor to kind of review our client cases. So
yeah. And that's like disclosed to the clients beforehand. Yeah.
So make sure we're doing a good job.
Yeah. But also sometimes we just need a place to offload too, because we're holding a lot of secrets in our head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have you ever been told like any like interesting secrets?
Yeah.
I've heard some stuff, like not just from clients. I'm just saying like people in my life. I'm just like, whoa.
I thought you were talking clients only.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, yeah. And I'm sure you have too. And maybe that's why you're giggling. But yeah, no, there's definitely been some things. And I think that really puts into perspective where you fall on like the spectrum too. And like, I don't know, like I don't even know where I'm going with that, other than the fact that like I have such a different perspective on life and a different outlook on life because I'm talking to so many different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
But that has nothing to do with secrets.
What about, you know, and I think this goes to our next point, keeping secrets, or like when someone tells you a secret, sharing it with your partner.
Yeah. Which I could almost throw in like parents in here too, because we were talking about how we used to or now tell our moms everything or whatever, but we can focus on partners. Yeah. I wonder if this is a universal experience, because I think we have similar views on this, but maybe it's not a universal experience. And in that case, like I'd love to hear from you guys on like what your rules are and your values and all of the things. But I feel like I tell my partner a lot of stuff.
I would say so too, but I will say if somebody tells me a secret, which now I'm thinking about it, it happens a lot more often than I realized. And it's something where I'm like, oh, wow, like not yikes, but like, oh.
Yeah.
And they specifically also will say, don't tell anybody. In those cases, I think I'm a little bit more mindful about sharing that with my partner. And, you know, but it also depends like on what it is, you know, and yeah, I think that's also trickier too, because I think it's like you want to tell your partners everything.
Well, here's another aspect. And I think that there's an argument for both ways for what I'm about to say. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I know whatever I tell my partner isn't going anywhere.
Okay, I think that's the same for me too, actually.
Like, who is he going to tell that's going to care? Like, sorry.
No, literally. Like, who's going to know?
Who's going to know? If I tell him something about you, who would he have to tell? You know what I mean?
except me.
Well, that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
and I'm like, oh, George, no.
Well, right, exactly. But like, he's not gonna like. I feel very secure that he's not gonna go and tell his mom or his dad or
yeah.
you know.
And see, that's, I think, comforting in that way.
Yeah. So I feel like I think that's my argument.
That's a really good point. You
But
know, it kind of,
could we
ends
argue
there.
that for like, I don't know.
There's some people who I'm assuming are in a relationship where
they're going to tell their partner.
Well, they're going to tell their partner, and they're all in a big friend group where it's both partners' friends are all involved. You know what I mean? So in those cases, things could kind of circle around really fast.
Sure. Okay. Good thing to consider.
You know?
Yeah. Oof. I'm really curious about like other people's like perspectives on this, because I think we've talked about it, and we've like kind of figured out like, okay, we're kind of on the same page about it, because, and I kind of said it when you were talking about that, but like when I tell a friend something about me or that I think is like technically a secret, I assume that they're going to tell their partner almost, because I know that's my relationship.
I think that's like a good expectation to set so that later on you don't feel like.
And then like you said, if I really don't want their partner to know, I'd say, hey, if you can even maybe keep this from
just between you and me.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's up to them at that point.
Right. That's on you.
Friends that are listening, if you really don't want my partner to know, you need to say, don't tell your partner.
Yeah, this is like your PSA.
Yeah.
Let Abeera know.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I can blabber like nobody's business.
I know.
And I don't even know where that comes from. It's not like with ill intent at all. It's more of just like, okay, like let's talk about this now. Like,
yes. Well, you know, I feel like we can talk about how secrets can be harmful to you, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of like an example. And I think sometimes holding a secret can like weigh on you mentally a lot of the time. Or, you know, if you're even holding a secret, and this can get a little dark.
Like your own secret or someone else's secret? Or
both? Both.
Okay.
You know, like I think holding a secret for someone else can be detrimental if it's something harmful that's happening, for example.
Yeah.
You know, or something bad.
Yeah.
Or like,
okay, like it's almost like HIPAA, where it's like, if someone's at risk of harming themselves or others, do you break confidentiality?
Exactly.
And then if there's like a crime or if there's like abuse, like, are we mandated reporters outside of the room?
Exactly. And you know what I like, just going back to therapy really quick, and this comes with a disclaimer after the fact, but I think if we have a client that comes to us and they said, 5 years ago, I murdered somebody.
Right.
I don't think we can tell anybody unless they're planning to do it again. Again, this is the after the fact disclaimer. I am not advocating for you to try to get away with murder and then tell your therapist about it.
But do you think you can do it? Kidding. Yeah, no, my law and ethics is not on my brain right now, so I can't confirm or deny that.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Sounds like you're confident, so I'm just gonna go with it.
I fully could. Maybe I made this entire thing up.
No, I think that sounds right. But just to leave room for error, like let's say, like, yeah, we think that's the case.
We think that's the case. And that's concerning. Or I think like a crime, if it's not murder, because murder is like.
Well, no, and I think the place I know for a fact this is definitely the case is like if someone did have, if they were an abuser of whatever sort, like let's say they abused a child like long time ago, or we like hear about child abuse or something, like we just have to make sure that there's no children in the vicinity of this person
in the present day,
and all is good. Yeah, which is blurry lines.
It's a tricky field for us to be in when it comes to this kind of thing, you know?
But again, yes, disclosure is we do not condone any behavior.
Any of these things that we just discussed.
However, like you were saying, like holding in the fact that we might know somebody.
Yeah, like maybe you're holding a secret that like somebody, you know, someone's parent is abusive to their child.
Right.
And it's kind of tormenting knowing this, you know, and not knowing what to do with it.
So at that point, because we're talking more like a little bit like job related, my answer to that is I completely just like disassociate and like almost, this is horrible, but I almost have to make it feel like it's like a movie that I'm watching and it's not real.
Right.
Because if I hold on to it too much and like actually visualize that this is a real person experiencing these very real things, it breaks me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like how I've had to kind of like separate it.
And I think that's where it comes in, like somehow releasing this, not holding on to it, you know, whatever that means for you. Cause secrets can, they can, like I said before, they can weigh on you. And even your own secrets. Like I can't give you an example, but I'm sure you know if there's a secret that you have that maybe is like doing more harm than good by not being honest with yourself, with whoever it involves, you know, whether it be like your relationship with somebody or, you know, I mean, maybe you're shoplifting, and in that case, go you.
Do we want to promote these things, Ayesha? We've already said some problematic things.
Follow the law.
Great. Anyway, yes, shoplifting. I liked what you said about the relationship stuff, and I want us to kind of like go into that for a moment because I think that that's an important thing to say. Like, I think we were also just talking about the fact like there are people who fully are in relationships where they don't necessarily love the person or whatever, and it's like, what are you doing in the relationship? Why are we keeping this a secret? You're gonna not only harm yourself by having to keep that in and go day to day in this relationship where you're not feeling passionate, but then eventually you're gonna maybe have to say it and then it's gonna hurt more.
It's gonna hurt more. And I think there's so many reasons though why somebody might keep that to themselves, whether it be like how long the relationship has been or, you know, financial security that the relationship might give them
or like their partner's like mental stability too.
Exactly.
People stay with people because they don't want to like hurt
and
their
that's
mental
still
health.
a loss, you know, like whether or not you still love the person, you're still like by not being with them anymore, you're still losing potentially them being in your life, the people that they come with, whether it be their friends that you really enjoy or some of their family members.
Wait, that kind of goes into the next thing, which is like, how does keeping secrets affect your trust and intimacy with like whoever the secret is with? So that could be like platonic or romantic relationships, right? Where like if you're holding in something as big as what we just described, like that's definitely going to affect the way you show up in your relationship and maybe the strength of that relationship too.
Yeah, because I think, you know, people can like pick up on like vibes. And I think after a certain point, maybe your partner is noticing that you're withholding intimacy or you feel distant in certain ways and then might start to feel crazy, you know, of like what's going on.
The gaslighting. Unintentional?
Unintentional.
Question mark?
Right. This kind of like, oh no, nothing's wrong, but you're well aware that.
Right. Which at that point, maybe it's a little bit more intentional. Or unintentional, but and you can control it.
You haven't really figured it out quite yet.
Ooh. And that's why we go to therapy.
That's why you go to therapy. Call us.
I don't think. Oh, maybe you can call Ayesha. I'm good. Call me in like 6 to 10 months when I'm licensed.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry. I don't know why I took that so literally. But yeah. And then with friendships, keeping secrets.
Oh.
If you break someone's trust, are you still friends with them? Or are they still friends with you rather?
You know, I mean,
like if you told me a secret.
Yeah.
And I went and I told not my partner, but like someone that maybe we're like mutually friends with, and then you find out that they know, how would you go about that with me?
Well, this has happened.
Oh, I'm sure. I think
recently-ish. Okay. And I think it's hard. And I think even with you, this would actually, I could apply it directly to you. Is like, I would feel like really hurt, like disappointed, just like betrayed, angry. And then I would come up with a script in my mind of how to tell you. And then I would never get the guts to say it.
Ayesha.
And, well, maybe now. Because what I'm referring to was like maybe around 2 years ago.
Is that the recent one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like recent, like newer friend. Okay. Anyways. And yeah, I mean, I would hope I would be able to share that now, but yeah, I think, and then it just.
But would you, okay, let me clarify. Would you, even if you weren't to like tell me how it affected you, would you continue on with the friendship, or would you slowly distance? Would you ghost? Like, how would you have it play out in your relationship?
I think that generally speaking, I'm a very forgiving person.
Okay.
And so I do think maybe there would be a period realistically where I like somewhat pull away from you, but like maybe it's better I share what's going on for me and communicate, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably like kind of do my own thing. And then I'm so forgiving. I love the people in my life so much that after I give myself a little bit of that space and time, I would think I'd be back to normal.
Yeah, but then they can just do it again.
That's true.
And over because you're almost like enabling them.
Exactly.
T. Well, if this ever happens, which I'm hoping it would never, because I'm going to be mindful about keeping secrets. I would want you to tell me, because why are we out here losing friends?
Okay, so this is my public promise to Abeera that I will tell you if you've wronged me. And I hope that you've wronged me. If you've broken my trust.
Wow. Okay,
and
noted.
I would hope you would do the same.
Yes, we can shake on it. ASMR of my bracelets. Great. I'm glad we made that promise, because I think we should be modeling healthy dialogue for our viewers, because why not?
And if someone has done something that has affected you negatively, it, in a way, it is your responsibility to let them know, because people are not mind readers, and it's not always fair to expect that someone else is going to know how you're feeling if you don't, come forward and share.
And use I statements.
Yes, we don't want to be blaming, right? We want to use nonviolent communication, which we could talk about at another time what that is.
Basically, I statements are, I feel blank when blank happens, or when, like I feel hurt when my secrets are shared with other people without my consent.
As opposed to saying what?
I can't believe you beep, went behind my back and told
you
my
betrayed
beep secret.
Me.
Yeah.
You are the worst person ever.
Exactly.
I hate you.
Yes. That was a great
skit.
segment. But yeah, basically, great. Done, period.
Slay.
Yes. But oh wait, let's kind of switch it up a little bit to like some positive with the secrets. What are good secrets?
Ooh, I think a lot of people can maybe relate to this.
Yeah.
Is when you buy somebody a really good present and you just can't wait to give it to them, but you don't want to tell them. But I think there's others with less self-control than myself, because to me, I'm able to wait until that big moment, because that's what I'm waiting for. It's like makes it worth it. But I think there are others out there that kind of just tell.
Never forget the incident of 2023, February 2023, when Ayesha bought me a present and I already owned it.
I know. I was so excited. I was like, this is the perfect gift. And literally,
I think that just shows how perfect it was.
And it was so funny because we were meeting up, I think, like at a flea market. Yeah. And I had her gift in hand. I see her in the distance. I'm walking up, and as I get closer, I'm like, this girl is literally wearing the gift I bought her right now.
Talk about intuition.
Talk about intuition. I was like, oh.
I can't believe I wore it.
Seriously, what are the odds of that?
Very slim.
And if you're wondering what it was,
I'll insert a picture of it, and maybe I'll wear it on an episode one day, and maybe we can both wear it.
We can both wear it, because Abeera was like, I was like, I don't know if you want 2 of these, and Abeera was like, you can just keep it.
Yeah, and I asked her, I was like, are you gonna wear it? And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it. And I was
it's
okay,
cute. I just sometimes I just get a little bit mindful. Like I feel like an imposter when I wear it, because I'm like, This is Abeera's thing.
I think if you wear it, if you can do this reframe in your head that you're wearing it in honor of me.
Okay, I like that. No, I really like that because if we haven't said what it is.
Oh yeah, we have not. We fully have just been talking.
It is a sweater vest with like pastel purple and blues, and it's got an orca whale in the center, and it's so Abeera. Yeah. I saw it. I'm like, this is perfect. Of course she had
and I think it's funny because it's not sold in stores. We both bought it from like a Depop Poshmark situation, right? Or did you buy it from a store?
I don't remember.
I bought mine off of Depop. So if that was the case, the fact that we both found it on like these secondhand websites is crazy.
We'll have to check on that just because seriously, what are the odds? It just blew my mind. I completely forgot about that.
No, we definitely need to wear it like next episode or something. Orca themed episode.
Oh my God. We need to.
I can make that happen like this.
Like at this point, I feel like if you want to buy something for you that's orca related, you have to kind of like somehow figure out whether or not you own it.
But I think at this point, because I mean, think about any collector, like they have doubles of things.
Okay.
Right?
That's
like
true.
I'm not going to be mad and I think we can always talk about this in a later episode, like love languages, but like for me, like I'm just so appreciative that someone even thought about me in this way and like recognized that I love this animal, that when you gave me that sweater vest, like if I didn't feel like you could use it, I would have taken it and I would have been like, great, if this one gets ruined somehow, I have a second one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know that this is definitely Aisha's vibe. So
funny because like I think this was very early on of me knowing Abeera. So I don't think we were even like friends.
This was last year.
No. Oh, I'm talking about on an unrelated note.
Oh, sorry.
When I first moved to LA and I knew who Abeera was. Like I think we were like kind of friends. We weren't friends.
Were we like in year one of grad school or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And I remember going to a gift shop at this market and they had all these plushies and they had these orca whale plushies. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to buy one for Abeera so bad, but I didn't know you like that yet. Or I didn't know you really that well at all.
Whoa. But wait, so you didn't know I liked orcas?
No, I did.
Oh, sorry. Maybe
so
I knew
you've always been very transparent from the start.
Okay, call me out.
And so I knew Abeera really liked these, but I didn't know Abeera well enough to be like, I bought you a plushie. But I debated.
As long as it wasn't from SeaWorld.
It wasn't from SeaWorld. It's from like this Japanese gift shop store.
Oh my God, fun. Okay.
So cute. Let's go there.
Yeah, let's go. Is it Miniso?
Full circle moment. Yeah.
Was it Miniso?
Oh, it was in Mitsuwa.
Oh.
It's another.
Oh, my partner is like nodding, like I know this place, and I'm like, okay, great, happy for you.
Oh my God, this reminds me of another. I don't know if this is a secret per se, but this is another thing about the early days of me knowing Abeera, and I can't recall exactly what my thought process was.
Where is this going?
But I don't know if you know this, but when I first met you, first of all, I fully stalked you on Facebook. Which maybe we all did.
Did you stalk everybody on Facebook?
I think I did. Obviously, who doesn't when you have access to everyone in your grad program?
Also, Facebook is not an updated platform.
But it's relatively public.
No, I know. But like, I can only imagine what you saw on there. And I know every picture is like pre-2016 maybe.
Right. I was just trying to like get a general like who are these people? Sure. And yeah, you were one of the first people.
Because I'm brown.
Actually, it's because I was trying to figure out whether or not you were Pakistani. And so I was going through your birthday messages.
Oh my God, to see like family members, to see what language they're posting in.
I was. Or like their names and just kind of get a vibe.
Did you get what you needed?
Yeah. I'm like, this girl's Pakistani for sure. Because I hadn't heard your last name before.
Yeah, I don't think it's a super common.
So I wasn't sure. And so I was like, okay.
Okay.
And then I know when we started school, I was like, I kind of felt a little threatened by you because I'm like, who is this other Muslim Pakistani Aquarius? Like, I feel there was, I think on paper, you and I are like relatively similar.
I'm surprised we didn't get like mixed up in grad school.
What do you mean mixed up?
Like
Oh, they didn't separate us. Okay. Okay. So
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought you meant like into different cohorts.
No, I'm saying I'm surprised that like professors and stuff didn't like call you me and me you. Or did that happen?
I don't think that happened. And I think part of it is once we started school in person,
You had blonde hair.
I had blonde hair, which helped. But
wait, that happened like once, I
didn't
think.
you have an experience with one of our classmates calling you
Yes.
Ayesha?
Yes, actually, you're right. I'm like, I feel like this has happened before.
Because it has.
It has. And I don't think I like called them out on it.
You told me, I think like immediately after, like, guess what just happened?
Yeah. And I was like, that was a microaggression.
That was it. It's low key. Not even low key. And like this person was like both of our friends.
And like, even if it was a mistake, that's still a Freudian slip in some way. Like, right?
Right. I mean, I think it was funny. Like
It was, at the end of the day, it was funny.
It was so funny.
But ultimately, I think we can also just discuss, like, in that program, like, we are just so mindful of like being like PC all the time, and like also just being so mindful of like bringing in the cultural aspect. So I think that was always on my mind. So like for me, like that was the first thing that came through with that little slip up. But you're right. There was no harm done. There was no ill intent. All of the things.
It's just like, hello.
But anyway, you were feeling threatened. Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay,
that was
okay.
it. That was it. Cause I'm like, I was just kind of like trying to feel you out. Like, who is
You're
she?
like, you're squaring up.
Oh yeah, fully.
You were
fully.
ready to like take me down.
No, and then you're like, yeah, like I went to undergrad for women and gender studies. I'm like, I got my minor in women and gender studies.
And then you found out I was a Leo rising.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, there were so many things relatively early on where I was like,
are we the same person?
Yeah. And I think maybe it wasn't even that like I felt threatened by you. It was more so like maybe an identity crisis.
Fair.
Of like, okay. But honestly, I did think you were really cool because you can't feel threatened by somebody you don't think is cool.
I think that's a good like way to like kind of reframe it. It's like I could feel threatened by this, or I could befriend this person and like, take in the things that are making me feel like a little insecure or weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it's like, I don't know, when you're like far enough away, there is this like weird.
You can like, what's the word? Like mysticize them. Is that the word? Is that even a word?
Is it like you're saying like create like an image or like a thing, a vision in
like
your
you
head?
You can almost project who you want or think they are onto them, and that might not actually be the reality. You know?
Yeah.
So, but
absolutely.
I'm so glad we're
interesting.
friends.
I know. Secrets.
If you could have told me then that I would one day start a podcast with you, like how funny would that have been? I'm like, wow.
I could have believed that towards like the end of our grad school experience, because we started doing like more group projects and stuff together.
Abeera was like my lifesaver when it came to group projects. Because, I mean, I'm sure you relate to this. Group projects suck because you can't really rely on other people. And I will say this, like, I do feel like I'm like relatively unreliable in a sense where I think, I don't know if I'm a full procrastinator, but I am enough where I'm like aware of the way I can induce stress in others, like yourself. Knowing myself, like I know I'm going to get it done, but the other person doesn't necessarily know that.
Right.
And by me kind of,
but I think you communicated that to me.
Yeah. I tried my best. Like, I'm like, I want you to know.
I communicated to you that I'm like, I am the person who works on an assignment the moment it's assigned to us because I don't want to have to stress about it later. And you're like, okay, great. I'm not like that.
But you know what? There was something about working together that I'm like, oh, it actually feels so nice to have it like out of the way. Like when we would stay after class and get it done. And I'm like, oh, or like they would be like, oh, you can either leave class early today or stay and work on your project. Yeah. And we'd always, I think there were times we were the last one still sitting in there.
Last one standing.
And I'm like, oh, now I get to go home and chill.
Yeah.
And not think about this thing.
Also, we were fully going to school in Malibu. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I would try to maximize we're paying tuition.
Like when you.
For that campus.
Exactly. Also, Speaking of, did you have any feelings at graduation when we were the only graduating class that actually attended the Malibu campus?
Ayesha.
Because I did. I'm like, you guys don't belong here. I mean, I stand by that.
I fully was on day 5 of COVID at graduation. I was not thinking about that.
That was a secret.
That's a big secret. I would like to say that nobody was harmed that I know of.
This was an outdoor graduation. You had an N95
for most of it.
People
were making fun of me. Like everyone that was making fun of me knew I was on like day 5 of COVID, and they're like, you need to take that off. Like, this is embarrassing. And I am not an anti-masker.
Like Abeera and I were the only ones at school still wearing masks for like the whole entire program.
Yeah.
Because not only do we not want to get sick, we care about getting other people sick. This is for you. You're welcome.
Yeah. I think we should get into the next little thing that we wanted to get into.
Let's do it.
Should we transition?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so we're now gonna hop into another little something because we got some questions from you guys.
I know, and we want to answer some of them.
And
so
you might not hear yours today, and just know that's because we are trying to be mindful of the time. Like, we only have so much time today.
Some of these questions we actually really want to spend some more time on. So if you didn't hear your question today, it's probably coming soon.
And that doesn't mean that it's a more important question or a less important question. This is just something that maybe is intertwined with something we already have planned.
Exactly.
And we just want to save it for that. Cool.
Okay, here we go. First one is, what is one small thing you do every day that brings you joy?
Ooh. Yeah.
Which I think everyone should have something that they're doing.
Yeah. Should it be the same thing every day?
Doesn't have
Could
to be.
But also doesn't have to be. Yeah. Yeah. What, do you have one?
Well, something I try to do it's pretty much every day is I end my day with taking like a bath.
Oh.
But I need to disclose that I don't take a typical bath. I do a very medieval style. It's weird. If you want to know the details on that, like, comment, subscribe.
I kind of love that it's just up to people's imagination right now.
Yep.
A medieval bath. Look it up.
Actually, I don't know what would happen if you look that up, but
oh yeah. Wait, maybe don't look it up.
But what I would describe as like a very kind of you're living in a village somewhere type of bath.
Draw us a diagram.
I will. What about you?
Mine is not like that. Mine would be, which is very common, I think, right now, is the New York Times puzzles.
So satisfying.
But specifically, because I know people have a love for the connections one.
Winaloo.
Not connections.
If you're listening, she's the author of Connections. Winaloo.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
I have beef with you. Like, hello?
No, I love seeing the TikToks of people being like, how?
It's so, but honestly,
there was one time it was like SpongeBob SquarePants, and that was not the answer.
No, she tries to trick you.
I know, it's really mean.
It's so mean, but it's so
Imagine
satisfying.
doing that after the worst work day of your life, and you put like SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'm sure phones have been broken because of the Connections game.
So I do not play Connections. I predominantly, I'll do Wordle in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I'll do mini crossword in the evening.
I love the mini crossword.
Yeah.
What was the Wordle today? Do you remember? Because I can never remember after I do it.
I got it in 3. I remember that.
Flex.
It was toxic.
Ooh.
Toxic.
Like some of you. Just kidding.
I remember there was an X in there, and I was really excited that I got it in 3.
How about the times where you have like the last 3 letters right or something?
And it's like rhymes.
And you're doing every version you can think of and you just never get it.
Yeah. At that point, I'll like try to find a word that like encompasses like as many of the first letters as possible to see if I'm able to get that. And that usually helps. But sometimes you're just like, you just forget that there's so many words that rhyme. Okay. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's go to the next question.
Okay. Next question is, do you think the world is in a better or worse place than it was 5 years ago?
So 5 years ago would have been 2019
So we were
in Trump's America. Whoa, that just changed my answer, I think.
This was right before COVID started, too.
Yeah.
So that factors in a little bit.
I think the world itself, like AKA Mother Earth herself, is not in a better place environmentally.
The glaciers are melting.
Right.
Other
But
things.
that's like a very objective, like scientific.
The polar bears are trapped on the ice.
And those walruses and their tusks, I mean, they're just breaking the ice a little bit more. Anyway. But not enough people are talking about the walruses and their contribution to climate change. Walruses, if you're listening.
Careful where you fling those.
Also, I don't think I can confirm if walruses actually pitch tents in the ice.
In the ice. Oh my God.
Anyway, what's your answer? Do you have a short form answer?
I mean, my immediate, when I first read it, I'm like, oh, it's worse now, obviously, you know? But I'm like, I feel like in ways, it's always just going to keep getting worse to some degree.
Yeah, no, I think
like the world is burning down in many ways, literally and metaphorically.
And I also think like some areas maybe are better, some areas are worse and all of that. But yeah, I think if I were to give a short form answer, I think it's like objectively like over like a large scale, it's worse.
Yeah, the world's in a worse place, but I would say like my own world that's just me. I'm a lot better than I was 5 years ago.
That's not the question.
Fine. Okay. Okay.
Next one.
Are there any specific scents that you literally cannot stand or tie to a memory or person? Well, when it comes to the scents, ask me when I'm pregnant because I don't know.
Wait, what's the reason behind that?
Because when you're pregnant,
like you're more sensitive to it.
You're very sensitive to smells, even the things you like. You just kind of get really nauseous easily.
Got it. Okay, I wasn't sure if there was like a deeper meaning to it. Okay,
that's it.
Nothing's like necessarily coming to mind for me. I feel like I haven't been like super triggered by a scent recently or at all that it's like brought me back to a certain thing.
Abeera did just spray some of her perfume on me, and I was trying to guess.
I was spraying like one of the Maison Margiela like replica ones, which are named after memories.
And I'm like, it's like reminding me of Miami, like walking like by the beach.
Yeah. And it's under the lemon trees.
And there's a lot of like citrus trees in Miami. So I'm like, I think I kind of get some points for that.
Speaking on colognes and perfumes, if I get a big whiff of like a very stereotypical masculine cologne, it reminds me of a Middle Eastern man.
Oh yeah. Sometimes these men go walking, like strutting by.
Well, I'm sorry. If you live in LA, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. They walk by and there's just a gust of wind of just cologne.
But there's something nostalgic about it.
No, it reminds me, I mean, I don't know.
Like of like an uncle or something.
No, I was gonna say that. I'm like, it reminds me of my uncles. But like non-derogatory. Like I love my uncles.
Yeah. But maybe we don't need to spray cologne in every surface.
We don't need to drown in it.
Yeah.
You know,
like boom, boom, boom. Sorry. You can't see it if you're listening. Sorry. So 2 at the neck and then 1 on the wrist and then you dab.
I've heard that you shouldn't dab.
Well, you don't like rub. You go boom, boom.
Okay.
Because then it's only on one wrist.
Then you just spray the other wrist.
But that's a lot of sprays.
Okay.
I'm trying to preserve.
Okay.
Cologne and perfume is very expensive these days.
Okay, that's true, which is why I don't really own much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
You know what I really want to get?
What?
Is the Glossier perfume.
They're no. We'll talk later.
Okay.
Wrong answer. It used to be really good. I'll say that.
Okay.
I feel like that's changed. Okay, so those were 3 questions that we did.
Hope you enjoyed. These were kind of fun.
They were fun.
Send us more.
Send us more because I sometimes I just like need a refreshing thing. We have like no time left, so we're gonna do a quick tarot time.
Yeah, like 2-minute tarot time.
Great.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
quick tarot
quick.
time.
So I'm going quick, hoping that something just falls out.
Okay. Oh,
no.
oh.
Wait.
Okay, Abeera's currently shuffling if you can't see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
go with this one. Oh, narwhals. I thought they were walruses. Wait, we already had walruses. That's how we got on the topic
Exactly.
of walruses. Okay. So they're narwhals. We're gonna upload a picture, but here's like a quick one. Here, Aisha's reading.
Okay, it says distinctive potential.
Okay.
Rely on your faith and the knowledge that nothing is impossible. Use your
Ooh.
determination to hang in there until you realize a goal.
I like this because some people might be stuck
Yeah,
and they might be like, why does everyone have a sense of purpose besides me?
exactly.
But it's like, you might just not know what it is yet.
right. And like, I just love the like, nothing is impossible. The sky's the limit. Like,
Yeah, I truly
dream
believe that.
big. Yeah.
Like how Malala told you to change the world. I
Malala
think
told
you
me-
could.
I can change the world and I will.
Yeah, you talked
Watch
about
me.
it in episode 4. So I remember that very distinctively. Whatever. Yes, go out there, change the world. Nothing is impossible. You might just need a second to figure out how you're going to do it.
Right.
And that's okay. And that was from Mr. Narwhal.
He's also like,
Bye, buddy.
I didn't know there-
find your dad. Insert scene from Elf. Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
I didn't know their horns were that long.
I can't believe that didn't land.
I haven't seen Elf in like years, so I can't quote Elf like you can too.
Oh my God, remember on Christmas Eve or New Year's
Or
Eve?
New Year's Eve. Yeah, we were playing that game.
There was like a trivia question of like, what's the first rule of like being an elf or something?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, treat every day like Christmas. And everyone thought I was insane.
I was like, what?
I was really excited about it. Sorry, did you have something to add to the narwhal card?
I was just saying I didn't know their horns were that long. Is that accurate?
I've never seen one in real life, but yeah, I think so. They're actually very underrated animals, I think. Like, why don't we talk about narwhals enough?
I mean, they are incorporated in this game. If you've played it, it's called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. And it's fun. If you've played it, you know. And there's narwhals involved.
Great.
You have to go, narwhal.
Well, I just also think, sorry, I'm going to step away from that. I also just think they're the unicorns of the earth right now with rhinos.
Aquatic unicorn creatures.
Yeah. So
There you go.
there you go. Go, magic does exist. So go and find it. Thank you for listening. We love you guys.
And like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see you next time.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye. Although we cover themes of mental health, Girl, Are You Okay is not a substitute for therapy or mental health services. Also, thank you to our co-producers, Geb and Eric.